So this is something I wrote for my mental health and movies class I took. This one's about the Fisher King. So, since each week you are covering several mental health disorders, through your learning you need to gain familiarity with the differences among the disorders in terms of symptoms and where they overlap. So, in the movie The Fisher King, you could argue that everyone in this movie is struggling with a mental health diagnosis. One of the main characters, Perry, is struggling with symptoms of schizophrenia. When we first meet him, he is jumping to help Jack. After Jack has been attacked, Perry seems unaware of the danger and displayed an inappropriate reaction to the situation. Then, shortly after this incident, we see Perry not react when Jack's coat is set on fire. Throughout the movie, we see that Perry's effect seems inappropriate at times, and that he's not able to determine the intentions of others. Throughout the movie, we see Perry hallucinating about a red knight and fairies, hearing the fat fairies talking to him, and a lack of insight about his disorder when confronted with reality. Perry doesn't seem to remember his own past and becomes hostile and aggressive when he is confronted with a reality that is different from his own. We see that when stressed, his hallucinations trigger and react to protect him in a way. After his wife died, Perry was catatonic for some time and currently struggles with a lack of work, social skills, and self-care for himself due to his disorder. So it says highlight 3 new words to include your understanding of the definitions. So in this section, I can't really find 3 new words that were able to be added, but I found 3 that I was able to deepen my understanding. The first word is depersonalization. The word is defined by the DSM-5 as an experience of feeling detached from, as if one is an outside observer of one's own mental processes, body, or actions. Depersonalization disorder often develops in people who have experienced severe stress. The second word is derealization. This word is defined by the DSM-5 as the experience of feeling detached from, as if one is an outside observer of one's own surroundings. Depersonalization means that you're feeling detached from your own body and identity. Derealization is feeling detached from your surroundings. The third word was dysphoric. This word is described as a condition in which a person experiences intense feelings of depression, disconnect, and in some cases, indifference to the world around them. While not a mental health diagnosis on its own, dysphoria is a symptom associated with a variety of mental illnesses, some of which include stress, anxiety, depression, and substance use disorders. Dysphoria is the opposite of euphoria, which describes a state of extreme happiness. So, in this, we talk about Perry. I'm not going to say his name every time, but I have this chart here that shows character who distributed it, who experienced it, what the DSM-5 says, and the movie's portrayal. So, a person with schizophrenia will present with 2 or more of the following, each present for 1 month period. So the first one is delusions. In the movie, Perry has delusions that he is a knight on a quest to retrieve the Holy Grail from a rich man. When confronted with other information, he tries to show signs that he is who he thinks he is. 2, hallucinations. In the movie, Perry has hallucinations of a red knight. This red knight seems to appear during times of stress. He first sees the knight when Jack is trying to tell him the truth. The next time he sees the red knight, it is due to him having a flashback before his wife died. 3, grossly disorganized or catatonic behavior. Throughout the movie, Perry has some grossly disorganized behavior. Perry follows a woman without knowing her. He watches her within the window at the restaurant while people are eating. Perry also doesn't follow social norms when he gets naked in public. We are aware of his catatonic state after his wife died and returns to this state after being assaulted in the movie. The doctors were unaware if he would ever come out of this catatonic state. For a significant portion of the time since the onset of the disturbance, level of functioning in one or more areas, in work, interpersonal, and self-care. Prior to the onset, Perry was a professor. He was quite wealthy with his wife. After onset, we see him as a homeless man who is living in a boiler room. He doesn't appear to have any interpersonal skills or relations and is not taking care of himself. He doesn't have much food to eat, and when we never see him eat while he's having these delusions. So the DSM-5 says continuous signs of a disturbance persistent for at least 6 months. We learned from the landlord in this situation that after his wife died 3 years ago, Perry was in the hospital catatonic for 1 year and started having these delusions and hallucinations after the catatonic state. So the DSM-5 says that disturbance is not attributed to psychological effect of a substance. Within the movie we watch, Perry passes on alcohol twice. We never actually see him do any substances. Individual may express a variety of unusual, odd beliefs that are not of delusional proportions. So some of his beliefs are Perry has a belief in magic that are not because of his delusion functions. He's understandable in his interaction with Jack, but vague and changes the topic often. Mood symptoms and full mood episodes are common in schizophrenia and may be concurrent with active phase symptoms. In addition, mood episodes taken in total should be present for only the minority of a total duration of an active episode. As stated above, Perry sees there at night when he is confronted with the truth from Jack, and again when he remembers the past. During both incidents, he was having active symptoms, but did not display these emotions when he wasn't having active symptoms. Deficits can include decrease in memory, and declarative memory, working memory, language function, and other executive function. Perry has no memory of his wife or the accident. He experiences flashback, but has declarative and working memory appears deficient. Some individuals with psychosis may lack insight or awareness of this disorder. Typically a symptom itself instead of coping strategy. Perry has no insight into his disorder. He acknowledges it sounds crazy at first to Jack, but tries to explain that he isn't due to the signs the fat little people gave him in a magazine. He also struggles when Jack tries to help him. So hostility and aggression can be associated with schizophrenia. Within the movie, we don't see Perry being hostile or aggressive towards people, but hostile and aggressive towards the hallucinations. So that's all I have to say about the Fisher King and what the DSM-5 says versus what we see from Perry.